This episode is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. You chose to hit play on this podcast today. Smart choice. Progressive loves to help people make smart choices. That's why they offer a tool called Auto Quote Explorer that allows you to compare your Progressive car insurance quote with rates from other companies. So you save time on the research and can enjoy savings when you choose the best rate for you. Give it a try after this episode at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Not available in all states or situations. Prices vary based on how you buy.
Now tuned into the greatest.
So when that bag come, I won't fumble. I'm just stacking on the low, but hey, I'm tired of being humble. Let me get to it. That motivation music. Get control of your life, don't let nobody else do it. Cause I'm not gonna have Metro S550s cruising. Feel like you winning on the ground, but he really losing.
Yes, sir. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to The Run with me, Manny Wilson, all the way from Detroit to Chicago to your speakers and headphones. I appreciate you tuning in to the first interactive sports podcast, a community that makes sure your voice is heard. So if you hear something you agree with, you disagree with, you like or you dislike, or you just want to go ahead and drop a hot take on something you saw, leave us a quick take, 219-413-9405. And of course, we will play your take back on our next episode. And then shout out to SeatGeek for sponsoring this episode. Get $20 off your first ticket purchase when you use the promo code TheRunPodcast. Now, this code can only be applied for first-time users on the mobile app or website. So I don't know about you, but my Chicago Cubs and Detroit Tigers have been balling as of lately. So I will be in attendance. Bunch of other cool concerts and stuff is happening for the summer, so check those out as well and use that promo code. However, one of the biggest things that's been going on kind of in the basketball world is Damian Lillard. He's making his return to the Portland Trailblazers, and I'm happy for Dame, man. Obviously him going to Milwaukee for a couple years to play with Giannis Antetokounmpo, it didn't result in what a lot of us thought. Personally, myself, I definitely thought they would achieve some sort of playoff run and maybe at least one or two finals appearances with him going to go team up with Giannis. But obviously there was a lot of pieces that didn't necessarily just add up. I mean, injuries was a toll. Giannis was hurt at one point. Dame obviously just went down with his big time injury. It was a lot of pieces that was absent. They didn't find a groove early on because the whole Middleton situation, he was struggling to kind of fit in with Dame at one point. Like, it was a lot of things going on where it was slightly dysfunctional when Dame got added to that roster in Milwaukee. But all of that stuff is over with the Bucks and Dame. He is headed back to Portland, and I'm happy for Dame that he's going back to Portland because the Portland Trailblazers actually have kind of a squad when you think about it and when you look at the roster over there. So not only for Damian Lillard is this like great because, he's spent a large majority of his career there. He obviously has a lot of fans, and that's where he kind of gained his stardom is playing in Portland. But the Trailblazers, they got some talent outside of Dame. The first thing I think about is Jrue Holiday. Jrue Holiday and Damian Lillard, front court, back court, I think is going to be dangerous. Now, you got to keep in mind, too, before you think about Jrue playing with Damian Lillard is still probably not going to be playing next season because he's coming off an ACL injury. So keep in mind, the Blazers 1,000% need Jrue Holiday to be ball dominant and do his thing, lead that team up until at least Damian Lillard can come back. And maybe they trade him. Maybe they try and make it work with both of them. But I still think that's a good direction to have. And if anything, at least Dame is in a comfortable situation and he's amongst a fan base and within the organization that can help them grow. He can bring his presence. And I mean, he's been around the league for some time at this point. So I think it's safe to say that Damian Lillard can definitely give some solid advice to the young guys who are on the team. And then when I think about other people over there, obviously we know they got Scoot Henderson still. They still got a lot of bigs, man. Oh my gosh, Robert Williams over there. Now the whole Ayton situation, that ain't it no more. But you still got Jeremy Grant. So you have talent over there in Portland. And initially, when you hear a guy like Damian Lillard is coming back, a lot of people immediately assume like, all right, bet we're going to the playoff dreams and all of that. But something that stands out to me, aside from Dame going to Portland and the roster and all of that, is the fact that Dame somehow is collecting 2 bags from 2 different teams. I am astonished, and I just applaud to his agent because he's collecting 2 bags from 2 different teams. Now, the Bucks, they waived Damian Lillard, so they still have to pay him a large amount of money. And obviously, the Trailblazers are bringing him there, even though he's coming off an injury. So he still just collected another bag off the Trailblazers. So a report from Shams, he recently kind of clarified the whole thing. So Lillard, now he'll have the whole 2025-2026 season with a set salary of $70 million between his Portland Trailblazers deal and the Milwaukee Bucks deal. Now, the salary of $141 million that was with the Milwaukee Bucks is still going to be over the next 2 years, but ahead of an opt-out in 2027. So this is just crazy. He's still collecting a major bag. And I mean, above all, I think Dame is definitely going to be content that, hey, I'm playing in the league still. I signed another contract and I'm collecting a bag. And even if it is with the Portland Trailblazers where he goes somewhere and he's not about to win a ring, I think at this point, man, it's safe to say, like, hey, if you go to the Blazers, you finish out your career there. I mean, a lot of people would tip their hat off to it. A lot of people will respect that Dame held it out and stuck it out for so long with the Portland Trailblazers at times where they weren't bringing pieces, in times where they weren't really doing a good job, surrounding some folks around him to help him out. So, I'm happy for Dame above all, and I think it's very interesting that he's collecting 2 bags, obviously, but above all, I don't know what the master plan is for the Trailblazers, and I think this can probably send them in a positive direction above all, just because you still have Dame. He'll come back healthy at some point. And whether he's the same version of himself or not, the guy can shoot, so he'll still be effective in the game at some point. But I think for the Trailblazers, you definitely want to continue to build, keep Jrue Holiday while Dame is injured, and then maybe you can kind of play those 2 together when Dame comes back. But above all, they have to continue to hit the draft hard. I don't think anything is going to stem from a Dame return from the Portland Trailblazers. Like, I highly doubt they end up going to the finals and all of that over the next 3 to 4 years. But, I mean, this is a stepping stone where you still have somewhat of a direction you can go into where a lot of teams don't have that. So it's something to build from. And I'm not opposed to the Dame return. I love it. And I think he retires here. I think it's it. I think it's it for Dame. And nothing is wrong with that, man. I respect it. Dame ain't never really went on no ring chasing type of thing. Some people could argue that when he was in Milwaukee, that was him chasing a ring. But I think, with Dame heading back to Portland, man, that's amazing for him. That's where he solidified his stardom. That's where he gave a lot of buckets and earned the respect of a lot of players around the league and a lot of fans around the league. So I'm happy that Dame is returning there. And above all, as long as the Portland Trailblazers continue in the right direction of building through the youth and putting certain pieces together and just have a direction, they'll be okay. They'll be all right. Other than that, man, that's all I got. So it's halftime. We're going to come back. We got some more stuff, too, because Chris Paul, man, he recently announced his farewell tour with the LA Clippers. And I think it's time that we have a conversation about Chris Paul. So stay tuned. Don't go anywhere. It's halftime. We'll be right back.